Hello and welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Somewhere a wee bit different today. As you can see, I'm out in the woods and haven't had any woodland content on the channel for quite a while now. If all went according to plan, you'll have seen me putting up a ridgeline for the first time and erecting a tarp for the very first time as well. The plan is in the next couple of weeks to get out and come back to this very same area here. This is a nice relocation identified a couple of months ago, just when I was wandering through the woods, as a good spot maybe to come and do a hammock camp. Sorry. The problem with doing a hammock camp is there's a lot of skills involved that I haven't had a chance to use before. And I suppose that's the reason why I want to do a hammock camp as well, because I want to learn these new skills. So I figured it was probably a good idea to come here today and do a practice run at putting up a ridgeline and putting up a tarp. Now I kept the tarp very simple. It's just a nice and simple A-frame design, probably one of the easiest to do. And I've copied the ridgeline technique from a really good video that Jason from Rambling on Ireland did last year, I think it was, but I'll put the link for that in the description below, because it's a brilliant tutorial how to create, he calls it a fast deploy ridgeline, but to me it's a ridgeline without needing to know complex knots. There's so much of it you can prepare at the house before you leave, setting up your little carabiner, setting up your prusik knots, setting up your bow line on the end, and then all you have to do is deploy it when you get to the forest. And it really was very easy. That literally, what you saw on camera, was literally the first time me ever attempting that. And it didn't go without any hitches. A couple of wee tweaks I needed to do and stuff like that, but for the first time putting it up, it was dead simple. I have put up the hammock before. If you've seen my previous video on the night cat hammock tent, that's the hammock that I intend to use, and I'm going to use it with a traditional tarp. Although I liked the night cat hammock tent, I just wasn't gone this being enclosed, and I just figured that it could be an issue if it was a wet night as well, that you had no space to cook under the tarp or anything. A regular tarp like this gives you space to cook. You can lay out your stuff on the ground down below and everything's nicely protected. So that's the plan, and I was to come back here in a couple of weeks' time and over one of the next few weekends and have a hammock camp. God, I can't even say that. That's about 4 times I've tried to say it and I still can't say it. Come back and do a hammock camp. Yes. Anyway, I have been a wee bit quiet on the channel this last while, so I thought I'd give you a wee bit of an update about what's been happening as well. Not a lot, to be perfectly honest. I've kind of got myself into a bit of a funk this summer. I was doing quite well. I was getting out for loads of hikes, and had that great wild camp a few months back with the other YouTubers up in the Mourns, and I had great plans for the summer. Now, I don't know if it was the weather. Obviously it's been horrible for the last sort of 6 weeks. There's been a lot of rain, it's been cold. Even when the weather was good, there was a lot of thunderstorms, so that kind of did put a spanner in the works. But I think I just got myself into a bit of a funk as well. I just couldn't get myself motivated to get out, and I definitely couldn't get myself motivated to do anything with YouTube. I had 2 videos sitting ready for editing for a long time. One of those is the Sperrins video, which I put out last, and the other one was a really challenging trip that I had to the Blue Stacks, and again, that must be 5-6 weeks ago now since I filmed that, and I haven't got around to editing that. So hopefully over the next week or so as well, I'll get that little video edited and get that up on the channel too. And by the time that goes live and you guys see that, maybe I'll even have been out in my hammock camp. We thought something so simple would be so difficult to say. So anyway, that's the plans at the minute. One thing you will have noticed that's missing completely from the channel and from what I've just talked about is the cycling. For whatever reason, I seem to have fallen out of love with cycling again. I know I struggled to get motivated for cycling last year, but I think what's happened this year, I had great plans for Audax. I had all these challenges set out and everything, but I think what's happened is I got really back into hiking again this year, hill walking in particular, getting up into the mountains. rediscovered why I loved it so much, and unfortunately there's not enough time in a busy family and work life to dedicate to cycling and hill walking, and I come to the realisation I just enjoy the mountains more than I enjoy the bike. And yeah, that's what I've decided to focus on definitely for the rest of this year anyway. Me being me though, I couldn't do that without coming up with some kind of challenge. So I've spoken about it before, but I turned 50 this year. In fact, I turned 50 last week.
Hooray!
And I came up with a challenge a while back for a long distance walking challenge. So if you follow my blog, and if you don't, why not? If you follow my blog, I've already given a little bit of a description about what I intend to do there. But basically, the Blue Stack Way is one of the national waymarked trails, and that runs from Donegal town to Ardra via Glenties, going over through the Blue Stack Mountains. It's not really a mountain walk, although it does go through the foothills of the Blue Stacks, and there is a little bit of climbing and some off-road in it. It's 53 kilometres long, and the challenge that I've set myself to do at the end of August, it's now the middle of July, but at the end of August I intend to walk the full 53 kilometres of the Blue Stack Way non-stop from north to south, so basically starting in Ardra and finishing in Donegal town. So that is going to be my challenge to replace the Audax challenge that now that I stopped cycling for the year, that I won't get a chance to do. So yeah, that's what's been happening with myself. I've been doing a lot of walking, I've been doing a lot of training.